Hello dear participants, it's a real pleasure for me to present this tool, which is not one of the easiest tools developed by our organization for helping social enterprises to solve their problems, but this tool is really deep one, and you will need a bit of concentration, a bit of meditative approach to be able to go step by step through this tool. And this tool is giving us a possibility to find solution to the issues that you have in your social enterprise. We have tested this tool several times during several training courses, and we understood that it's really not very easy to use the tool only using the instruction that we have here. First, we had only this instruction, step-by-step description, and participants were reading it out and trying to understand how to do this task, but then first the cards were not understandable. Then we designed specific icons for them to be able to understand which of the steps it represents. Then we understood that for each of the participants we will need one clear description step by step, like what is the first one that you are doing, what are the corresponding cards to it, and to use the same symbols on the description on the plan. So we have done several improvements to this, and now we have the tool. And this tool is designed specifically to find solutions for your social enterprise. As you might know, our project is using heavily the Theory U approach developed in MIT. And this collective thinking method is giving a lot of possibilities. It has a lot of exercises which are giving a possibility to find solutions for complicated issues. And when we talk about social entrepreneurship, this is a new concept, and definitely there are several problems that you might encounter when you are establishing your social enterprise, when you are approaching your first development steps, then you are meeting your first challenges. So in the different stages, you will have different problems. And to find the resolution to these problems and somehow to have a collective thinking process how to solve these issues, we have developed this tool which is called Social Entrepreneurship Case Clinic. In Theory U, they have a case clinic method which we redesigned a bit, we changed, and we customized it to match to the specificities of social entrepreneurship. And now let's have a look on what we have here and how this tool works. We have the instruction, which is these 3 pages that you see here. So this instruction is guiding us step by step what are the roles that people need to take, what are the steps that you have taken, and what are the questions that you might answer, what are the meditative approaches that you might use during this exercise. And the same one actually is represented on the success cards, and these ones are specifically designed for participants. As we understood, that process is multi-step process, and it's not very easy for participants to remember the whole logics. We have designed a card for each participant to have it and to have a reference card in your hands to understand what you are doing first and what you are doing second. And how the process is designed, I will not go into very much details, but the idea is that the process is composed of first entering the topic situation, and then there should be a case giver, somebody which is the carrier of this problem. And it's really important to understand that it's not very easy to do it theoretically, not during the training exercise. Somebody might have this problem, and then we're giving this possibility to be a case giver to this guy. No, it's not very efficient. That's why it is really important that case giver will see and select a problem which really he or she carries. And let's go step by step through the process. We're starting with the introduction of the process, so explaining to the people the difficulty of the method, the requirements to the participants, that they really need to somehow open their hearts, open their brains, and open their will to come to a solution, to raise their empathy, to listen to each other, and to help each other to come to a conclusion. So we're starting from the introduction. We're introducing the process, we're introducing the method. Sometimes it's good also to make a couple of references also to the Theory U, and it will be good if you have at least a basic understanding what is the Theory U about. We're introducing the process, and then we're introducing to the participants we have prepared frequently met problems in social entrepreneurship. So there is a series of cards, many of them, and we tried based on our experience to understand what are those problems that are really frequent in social entrepreneurship. So first, participants are getting acquainted with this set of cards and then selecting one of the problems. And when one of the problems is selected, we find somebody in the group which is carrying this problem, and this is the best candidate to become the case giver. So the next one is to select a facilitator which is leading the process, to understand who is the case giver and to understand who are the peers, who are the guys which are going to help the case giver to find a resolution to the problem. And for each of them there are descriptions, and people can have a look and understand what is the nature of this role. So they're first entering the role, they're trying to understand like what is the role, and then there is a moment of small moment of preparation when case giver is trying to understand like what is this problem for him or her. And for this we will need some 15 minutes of really still meditative moment when case giver is trying to internalize this problem and to understand like what is this case for him or her. But in a meanwhile, of course, we have the peers. So for them the most important task is to raise their empathy, to raise the level of empathy, the level of their awareness, the level of willingness to help the others. And then there are some small exercises for the peers as well that they can do to get ready for the continuation of the process. And when everybody is ready, the case giver is ready to give the case, and the peers are ready to help the guy to find the solution. There is a moment when the case giver is starting to give the case, and this is 15 minutes pure listening with empty mind, really like empathically listening what this person is saying. For the peers, it's the most important moment is to really to understand what is this case giver talking about. And after presenting, after giving the case, there is a moment when all the participants have the first meditative moment. So there is a stillness stage, and it's really important to give a moment for everybody to sit stilly in a meditative situation and to really try to understand like what we have listened from this case giver, and really to internalize it and to understand like what is this case for us and what we can do with this. Then the facilitator is raising a set of questions. It's really important to pass step by step with these questions, and this first step of questions is helping us to more structurally understand what is the case and what can be done with this case. So participants have the moment of reflection on these questions, and they are thinking about what was the most important thing for them in this story. What is the moment of aha? What is the moment they can really think about a solution in this story? And then the facilitator is giving them a possibility to have another meditative approach and not to go deep into the topic, but to raise above the topic. This exercise is called eagle meditation, when you're flying over the topic and having a look a bit from the distance to the problem. When we're having a look from the distance to the situation, then some solutions might arise. And when people are doing this meditative exercise, we're preparing a base for the second stage of questions, when facilitator is already leading participants to a situation when they're thinking about the solutions, how we can help this case giver with this problem. And here there is a moment of journaling when participants are peers and case giver themselves. They are sitting and listening to the questions one by one presented by facilitator, and then journaling the thing that they are coming to their minds about this case, what they can suggest to the case giver as a solution, what are the things that the case giver should give attention to, what are the things that might help the person to resolve this issue. And when all this material is gathered, when we are passing to we have 6 questions here. After passing through these 6 questions and doing the journaling exercise, there is a moment of finalizing, when we are sitting together and presenting what came to our minds, sharing and trying to find a resolution for the problem of the case giver. Of course, this is the logical ending of this process, but it will be good not to immediately jump to finishing the exercise and going to your activities, but it will be really worth to have a moment when you are sitting together, talking together, and somehow summing up this situation, not in the format of the formal facilitator doing this, but sit together and to talk in free manner and to finalize in free manner to understand to what conclusions we have come to this exercise. This is not the easy exercise. There are multiple steps, there are moments of meditation, so you need to have also a bit of techniques of meditative thinking, reflection process, but I think this is really very deep exercise, and it will give a possibility to find a resolution for difficult social enterprise related problems. Thank you very much for your attention. In the description of the model you will find all the materials that you can print out, all the instructions, and if I miss something then you will find it all in the instructions and cards, and I hope that you'll enjoy this exercise. Thank you very much.